Hi there everyone, this is Steve K here with you all once again with another video. And this video is going to be a little bit of an interesting one, maybe. And there have been some videos that have been going around on here. One of my friends did a video, and this is called a tagging video. You reveal like 5 things about you. 4 things like we should know about you, and 1 embarrassing thing about you, like one thing that you have and you have to like admit. And I have been tagged by someone to do this. It started with my friend Jonathan Van Der Ziel, JVD, who started and said he tagged like a few of us in this. It wasn't me, because I was not for that one, but one of them who was tagged in it was a guy named Rodney Flippin, one of my good friends, Rodney1279. He tagged Mathew V, Mathew Vasconcelos, Mathew V1688, Ben Mason, me, Alex Paras, I think, and somebody else. I think he did. I can't remember exactly. So, since I've been tagged, so I'm just going to have to get this over with. So, here we go. So, the 5 things to know about me are, so we'll just start with the regular things first. So, here we go. Now, as you mostly know, the one thing about me, I am a huge sports fan. I love sports. I like, because I played a lot of sports when I was growing up. I played baseball, a little bit of basketball, but I didn't have like a basketball hoop or anything. I would go to like a school in my old neighborhood. Used to go over there and play basketball sometimes, but it was very dangerous to say, because in the 90s, like in the early 90s, like 93 and 94, it was good to go over there. It was nice and stuff. But when we got to like the later years, like 98 and 99, then it started getting rough, and it just pretty much was getting, like I said, rough. There was broken glass there and a few other things as well. Yeah, so, and really couldn't play over there anymore, because you could not, go over there, with no shoes on. You had to wear them all the time. I mean, you just couldn't go over there without stepping on a piece of glass or anything like that. And it just got very rough. And there was spray painting over there as well, like, very offensive words. Yeah, so I used to do that a lot. Used to play basketball. Not a whole lot of football. Not really to the later years, like 99 or 2000 or 2001. I started playing football a little bit. But mostly baseball is my sport, because I went over to this little place, I would call it like my own sandlot, believe it or not. If you remember the movie The Sandlot, those kids, and they're playing baseball, and they just playing a little field, and they try not to hit home runs into this person's yard because there's a dog called the Beast in there. And that was one of my favorite movies as well, and also a movie called Rookie of the Year. But nonetheless, there you go. So, and I also like NASCAR as well. I loved it since 1998. I've been a big fan of Dale Earnhardt Sr., Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr. I am not a fan of Jimmy Johnson, because I can't stand him winning, and I don't think, well, he's okay, but he is very overrated in my opinion. Carl Edwards is pretty good. I don't like Kyle Busch, as I think he's overrated as well, and he's cocky. Same thing with Jimmy Johnson. Yeah. But there you go. So the one thing about me is I'm a huge sports fan. Like, if you see anything on my channel like has to do with like my sports jerseys or gameplays of sports games, and there you go, because I love sports. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. And I never really tried out for like a little league team for baseball. I did once, but I never really got the chance that much. But I played like with my friends or my family a lot of times, and there you go. Okay, so the number 2 thing, well, let's see here. Well, I like game shows. I like to watch game shows, like mostly The Price is Right, but with Bob Barker. And I like Bob Barker the most, because I always grew up with him. I always liked to watch him a lot when I was growing up, and I always would stay home from school a lot. Whenever I would be like, sick and stuff, I would pretend I was, and I'd be like, oh, my stomach hurts, I don't want to go to school. Well, 2 reasons. I didn't like going to school. Well, that's just another thing as well. And another thing was I liked watching Bob Barker, because he was very entertaining to watch. He made the show fun, and all the games they played, some of them they don't play anymore. Like Barker's Bargains, which is now called the Bargain Game. The Penny Ante game, which is fun as well. You press the little button and the thing go brrrr, and see if that was the right price or not. And it would say no or yes, and then you continue. And Super Ball, which is just like skee ball. You throw a little ball into the hole. Either you get money, and if you get into the win one, then you win the prize. Like if it could be a trip somewhere, furniture, or a bedroom, or possibly I think it's just a trip somewhere. I don't think it was played for a car, but it might have been. I'm not sure. And of course the announcer Rod Roddy, can't forget about him. He was great as well. And of course Johnny Olson, but he was back in the day and stuff. But he was another great one as well. There you go. But like I said again, I love game shows, and I also like the Family Feud with Richard Dawson. He's my favorite, and Ray Combs is my number 2. But even though when I watched him back in the day and they did the Bullseye round, I didn't really understand that. But once I watched him more often, then I thought he was really good. Louis Anderson, who was after Ray Combs, he was, well, Richard Dawson returned, I should say, in '94, I think it was. But it only lasted just for a little bit. And then Louis Anderson came in like late '99 when I was going to school around this time still. And I heard about it that he was going to be that the Family Feud was coming back, and I thought that Richard Dawson was going to be hosting it. But it seems as though they asked him, but he declined. Yeah. Then came Richard Karn after Louis Anderson. I did not, unfortunately, care for Richard Karn because his version was pretty much okay. He was from the TV show Home Improvement. He played Al, the guy dressed in flannel a lot of times, and the guy with the beard. Yeah. But he was okay on Home Improvement, but I didn't care for him as the host of the Family Feud. And then came this guy who was a great host of the Family Feud. In my opinion, if Drew Carey was not the host of this, he would definitely get my vote to be the host of The Price is Right. And his name is John O'Hurley, who hosted Family Feud for maybe a couple of years, or I'm not sure exactly, but he also did the Bullseye round, which was great as well. And like I said, if Drew Carey was not hosting The Price is Right, he would definitely be hosting it because John O'Hurley is a great guy and he definitely knows what he's doing. And there you go. So John O'Hurley pretty much be my number 3 because he's good. And last but not least, the current host, Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is good, I will admit, but sometimes the way he is, like, when they reveal answers and he'll have a face like, what the hell did you just say? I mean, he is funny still, but I care pretty much for Richard Dawson and Ray Combs. May they both rest in peace, as they were really good hosts, and John O'Hurley, because he was awesome as well. And there you go. Okay, now what was I up to now? I admit I was a sports fan, number 2 one. My game shows, okay, I'm up to 3. Okay. Number 3. Well, I like music as well. I'm a big music guy, just like Gary as well, Garrison Newkirk, NG2C Network. I like to listen to all kinds of music, a little bit of 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s as well, a little bit of today's music, but not that much, as long as it's not Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, what's her name, Katy Perry, and a couple others, but I love Taylor Swift, she's beautiful, and as long as it's not One Direction either, because One Direction is stupid, and they say that One Direction is like the next group, like to replace the Beatles or whatever, or the next Beatles. Absolutely not. Nobody will ever replace the Beatles, and there's no band that could replace them. But as I said before, now, well, 60s, the Beatles, of course, the Beach Boys, the Rolling Stones. There's many others. I mean, I even have some like on my iPod and stuff, and my phone as well. I have like some music on here. Many others I can think of. Alice Cooper, because I saw him live before, and he sings great songs. I do like disco music as well, dance music, pop music, rock music, some heavy metal, but it would probably be Metallica, and not sure. Well, Metallica for one, and I'm a huge fan of Kiss. Well, Kiss is pretty much rock and roll. They're not heavy metal, but they're definitely one of my favorites for sure. What else? There are some 90s music. I will admit I do like Britney Spears, as I like her music in the 90s. You know, Hit Me Baby One More Time. I mean, come on, it's Britney Spears, and every guy definitely had a crush on her, and I definitely did when I was growing up. And especially when I saw her on the Kids' Choice Awards one time, and she sang Hit Me Baby One More Time, and she looked great. and I still think she looks great. And she also did a version of Bobby Brown's song My Prerogative, another artist that I like, Bobby Brown. And she did a very good version of My Prerogative. I will admit that. I have it on CD. It's her greatest hits CD. And another song called Stronger, Sometimes, is pretty good. Oops, I Did It Again, You Drive Me Crazy. A lot of them are really good. Don't really care for her new songs that much, but her songs that she did in the 90s were great. And as for the 80s, Michael Jackson, Queen, Phil Collins, Rick Springfield, many others. I mean, I got a huge CD collection. I mean, I should do like another video, and I also collect wrestling CDs as well. I collect them a lot. What else? An artist named Mary Chapin Carpenter, one of my favorite songs from the 90s. I Feel Lucky Today. Amy Grant, because she's a great artist. Like Cher, Roy Orbison, Elvis Presley, can't forget about him. Many more that I can mention. You know, if you could probably name anything, I would definitely say I like it. Creedence Clearwater Revival, Styx, Billy Idol. Billy Joel's pretty good, but I haven't really listened to him a lot. So I will admit he's a good artist. Can't say anything bad about him. Yeah, many, many more. I can definitely tell you that. So there you go. And now we're up to the number 4th one. My number 4, let me see. Well, I did have one, but now I kind of forgot it. What was I going to say? Shoot. Kind of forgot now. Shoot. Okay, here it is. My number 4 fact, now this could be like under wrestling as well, but I will get to my number 5 in a minute, the embarrassing fact. So, okay. My number 4 fact is, shoot, I lost it again. My number 4 fact is, I am a huge wrestling fan. I love wrestling. WWF mostly. WCW as well, a little bit of ECW, and a little bit of WWE, but not the WWE now because it's getting like too much predictable and stuff, which is really ridiculous. But I love the WWF from the 80s, like 85 to 2004, I guess I would say, or 6 maybe, I'm not sure exactly. But, you know, you had all the great wrestlers back in the day, like Hulk Hogan in the 80s, Andre the Giant, Randy Savage, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, the Hart Foundation, Demolition, Legion of Doom, the Bushwhackers, the Natural Disasters, the Nasty Boys, the Big Boss Man, the Junkyard Dog, and a lot of the pay-per-views they had as well. Well, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Yokozuna, my favorite of all time, The Undertaker. I know there's more, I'm just trying to think exactly. Well, the 90s wrestling was definitely my favorite because of what they called the golden era. Something like that. And Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Rocky Maivia, Triple H. Then you had the Attitude Era in the later years, like in 98, and Austin 316 was born as well. You know, all that stuff. Razor Ramon, Diesel, Jake the Snake Roberts. So many of them that I was such a big fan of, you know, and all the pay-per-views they had, like, you know, January we had the Royal Rumble, 30 man in one Rumble, one winner goes to WrestleMania and gets a World Wrestling Federation Championship shot. Then WrestleMania, of course, as I mentioned, which is still going on along with the Royal Rumble. Then you also had the King of the Ring in June, but that didn't debut until 1993. It was a great pay-per-view as well. They don't really do that anymore, and they don't. And then they have SummerSlam in August, which they still do, and Survivor Series in November, which they also do. But there was other pay-per-views as well, which don't really go on anymore. Like February, we had No Way Out, which is a good pay-per-view, lasted from 98 to 2008, I want to say, or 7, till the new one, Elimination Chamber, took that away. Then March is usually WrestleMania, like in late March or early April was WrestleMania, and then April would be another pay-per-view called Backlash, which I don't think they do anymore. And in May was a pay-per-view called Judgment Day, which is another good one too, which lasted, I think, from 98 to 2008 maybe, till one of them took it over. I think it was Over the Limit or something like that. They did have one called Over the Edge, but it only lasted in 98 and 99 due to the tragic accident of Owen Hart. And that was pretty much the end of that. And of course, King of the Ring, which lasted from 93 to 2002. But then they brought it back on an episode of Monday Night Raw when William Regal won it. July, they had one called Fully Loaded, which is pretty good as well. Only lasted from 98 to 2001, I think, and then came Vengeance, or Vengeance Night of Champions as well. And then September, they had one called Unforgiven, which lasted from 98, I want to say, to 2003, I think, or I could be wrong, I don't know, or maybe it's 2004, I don't know exactly. And in October, they had one called No Mercy. And a lot of the pay-per-views they had, you know, these were great to watch. And finally in December, one called Armageddon, which is pretty good. But really, and I used to order a lot at the pay-per-views. I mean, back in the year of 2000, I ordered almost every wrestling pay-per-view. And that's $30 a month. That's usually expensive for pay-per-views, I mean, in that time. But WrestleMania was $50, because WrestleMania has been going on since '85. And, all the pay-per-views, you know, January Royal Rumble, I ordered that. February No Way Out, I did not order because I got punished for probably not doing my homework, I think. Because I didn't really want to do homework because I got really sick and tired of that, you know, because when I went to school around that time, I hated doing that. WrestleMania, like in March, or WrestleMania 2000, they called it, I ordered that. April, Backlash 2000, which was the return of Stone Cold Steve Austin, which I remember getting, and, you know, so happy to see him return. Then, Judgment Day, May 2000, I didn't get that because we decided not to order it, but we found out The Undertaker returned, then we ordered it the next day to see it. June, The King of the Ring, I remember ordering that too, which is a pretty good pay-per-view. Fully Loaded 2000, another good pay-per-view as well. SummerSlam 2000, I missed the beginning of it because I was at a friend's house, so I ordered it when I got in. Great pay-per-view as well. Unforgiven 2000, the return of Stone Cold Steve Austin once again, finding out who the person was that ran him over. October 2000, No Mercy, ordered that as well. I know I'm going on with this because this is pretty much, you know, a fact about me, you know. And I said No Mercy. November 2000, which was Survivor Series, yes, I ordered that. Triple H in that car and dumped right off of that thing that's this kind of like a forklift that Stone Cold was in, and dropped it right on the ground, which was an awesome moment. And Triple H saying, "Holy shit!" And that's how Holy Shit was born, when the crowd would go, "Holy shit! Holy shit!" Which they don't do anymore, but they did at the Royal Rumble recently because they were pissed off because of the outcome of what happened, because the wrong guy won the Royal Rumble. And then in 2000, December, Armageddon, which I also ordered as well. Then we got to 2001, and I also ordered the 2001 Royal Rumble. I don't think I did for I think I did for No Way Out. And WrestleMania 17, or a lot of people call it the greatest one ever, the greatest WrestleMania. Yes, I did order that. Backlash 2001, I think I did, but I'm not sure exactly. And then Judgment Day 2001, I can't really remember like what happened in that paper. Well, yeah, I do remember, but I think I might have. King of the Ring 2001, I think I did. A pretty epic battle between Shane McMahon and Kurt Angle in that match. And pretty much around that time I stopped ordering pay-per-views because it just wound up getting like a little bit too expensive and stuff, you know. So there you go. And like I said again, I'm a huge wrestling fan, and that's my number 4 fact, and there you go. Now we get to the 5th one, and the most embarrassing fact about me. Yeah. So this one could be a little bit, well, I'm just going to say this now. This could be a little bit disturbing, maybe, or uncomfortable for some people. So anybody that's not really doesn't want to hear this or anything, you know, if you don't want to like, you know, hear what it is or anything, it's not really something bad or anything. It's not. I mean, it could be a little bit disgusting to some people, but if you don't want to hear what it is, please turn off this video now and don't watch it if you don't want to hear it, or if you do, then here it goes. Now, some of my friends, well, some people know about this, but I can't believe that I'm going to admit this, but it is an embarrassing fact, I will admit, but it is, you know, it's something that some people can have sometimes, but, well, here it goes. I have a foot fetish. Now, if anybody does not know what a foot fetish is, it is a sexual interest in feet. It is something I've had for a while, since 2001 to be exact. Now, if I'm just going to explain what it is. A foot fetish is somebody that dislikes somebody's feet, like if they're wearing shoes, socks, or barefoot, anything like that. And I am only interested in women's feet. I do not like men's feet because I am not gay. For one, I will admit that. I am 100% straight. I love women very much, and I have a bunch of friends on Facebook and stuff that think I'm a very nice friend, and I think they are as well. But again, I am not gay. I'm telling you right now that I am not. But it's just a common foot fetish. I mean, everybody has a fetish. I mean, that somebody can like women's legs or stuff, or breasts as well. But I just like feet. No matter where I go, a lot of times, like if I'm going out to if I go to Walmart or any other kind of place to look around, I'm always looking at women's feet. I mean, I know it's kind of unusual and stuff, but I'm just curious, and I just look. And sometimes whenever I'm whenever I'm looking at their feet, I just say to myself, I wonder if they're wearing socks, or but it's just a common thing, it is not, it could be a little bit disgusting to some people, but it is an embarrassing fact. I mean, I'm a little bit afraid to admit it, but not really, but I'm just saying it right now. But I mean, if you just are against me or anything like that, but I'm just saying, it's just something I have. I mean, I have some people on Facebook that have messaged me, and I said to them, are you wearing socks or anything like that? And some people have sent me pics of their feet. Just women. I mean, just some friends that I have, on Facebook. This friend of mine she's from California, but she's a good friend, and she thinks that my fetish is funny, and she has sent me pics of her feet before. There's a picture of her socks. A couple others have, some have sent me pics of their bare feet, like this one here. Some have sent me pics of their shoes, like a friend of mine here. Well, she does like me, this friend of mine. She tells me that she loves me and stuff, as a brother and stuff. But one person, she did love me like a lover. She said she called me lover, but she doesn't really keep in touch that much with me anymore. But she has sent me several pics of her before, and her breasts as well. But she is, a very good friend. Yeah, I still care for her. Her name is Leah, but we still do keep in contact. But I probably have several pics of, women's feet on my phone, and this one of a lady who is in England. She's English, but she is a nice lady and stuff. She thinks that my fetish is really funny, and she really has nothing against it. Here's another picture of Leah, the girl that I told you about. But again, if you're not liking this, just turn the video off and don't, if you don't want to hear it anymore. But it's just a common thing about me, and it is true. If you ever see any things on YouTube, if I like and favorite them and stuff, like these people worshiping women's feet and stuff, and smelling their socks or anything like that, and their shoes, it's just something I like. I have never done it to anybody before. I don't plan on, unless they would like me to. I don't really want to ask, say, can I smell your feet? Because I would be a little bit afraid to do that, because I don't want to upset them or them to slap me or anything like that, because I don't want them to get upset at me. And I don't want them, get upset at me because of my fetish that I have, but it's just a fetish that I have. But I look at several pics of these and just look at them, just for fun and stuff. But there you go. It is, once again, a fetish that I have, and that is the embarrassing fact about me. You may not think it's embarrassing, whatever, but it may be to some people. But there you go. Yeah. So now that I got that out of the way, so there you go. Now for the people that I'm going to like to tag in this one. One person I like to tag is a friend of mine who I pretty much known since 2012, I think. Maybe a little bit longer, not sure exactly, but he's a great friend of mine. I don't think anybody has tagged him, but I hope he can do a video of this. But if he doesn't, that's okay. but we'll see. His name is Brandon DeJesus, or the Wrestling Man 97, whatever it's called. He used to be known as the Gamer Man 1997, I think, or the Gamer Man 16, I think it was. I think I got mixed up. But he's done several videos before. He's a good friend of mine, and I think he's going to be like going to college one day as well. But if he has the time, I'm tagging him in this, and if he chooses not to do the video, it's okay, I understand. But he is one person I'd like to tag. There you go. Now, another person as well, I gotta look into my YouTube people as well, because I gotta think about this, because some of them that I have mentioned, or some of them have already done this. Let's see. I don't think this guy has been challenged, but I'll see if he'll do it. The second person I'm going to tag is Justin Bowling, or Justin271995, another good friend and a good big fan of Card Sharks, good Card Sharks player. So I'm going to tag him because he's a good friend and stuff. The third one I'm going to do is going to be my Baltimore native and good friend Mathew Bingel, or Marty Bingel. Yeah, because he's a good friend of mine, and I'm tagging him as well because I like to see what he's going to say as well. Because, you know, he's my Maryland native, and he's like a bro to me, as well as along with a few others as well, like Rodney, Gary, and many others are like brothers to me. There you go. The fourth one, let me see. I don't think he's been challenged, but if he has, I'll have to fix it, but we'll say the fourth one will be NWB 1989, Nick Bishop, because I like Nick as well, like a brother to many others, and he's a great friend as well. I've known him probably since 2012, and I like to see what he has to say. And finally, for my number 5, this one that I'm going to be challenging, well, this one, I'll see about this one, but I'm going to say if Nick has been challenged, then my number 4 will be Timothy McClelland, if he hasn't done it or not. Yeah, so if you already done it, then I challenge Tim McClelland. My number 5 is the Bundy Chick 82, Carla, but even though if she doesn't really have she does have a YouTube channel, but if she does upload a video, I'd like to see her do this as well, this tagging video. So, but if you decline to do this, Carla, I understand that, but if you do, then my number 4 will be Nick Bishop, my number 5 will be Timothy McClelland. So, there you go. So that's my top 5, that's my 5 facts, the other ones you know, and the other one as well. So, I'm sorry to admit that once again to all of you, but it is an embarrassing fact about me, but there you go. So, excuse me. So that'll do it for this tagging video. So, I hope you all enjoyed. So, like, comment, and subscribe, please. And once again, my challengers as well. Once again, Timothy McClelland, the Bundy Chick, Nick Bishop, Justin Bowling, and Brandon DeJesus, and Marty Bingel. But if one of you have already done this, then you know what I mean. It's not 6 or anything, but if one of you have already done it, then you know. So, there you go. And that'll do it for this video. Once again, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, please. And I'll see you all with more videos. You all take care.